Hi, I'm Jeremy Castrodad,
I'm Jordan Grossmann.
and this is our Foolproof Auto Irrigation System. To start, I'm going to do a little bit of history about auto irrigation systems. Auto irrigation systems have actually existed for about 50 years or so. The early auto irrigation systems typically just moved water from one location to another to assist users in controlling moisture of crops. As technology advanced and more sensors came out and microprocessors were invented, that presented more capabilities for different applications such as pH control, moisture level control, humidity, in which we kind of tap that into our device. So as you can see here, this is our device, the Foolproof Auto Irrigation device. A lot of plastic containers. We tried to stay under budget and tried to keep it as cheap as possible. So a lot of silicone hosing that we used here, but we used different solenoids that are all activated by the driver that we had made ourselves. Our device uses solar panels for power that you can see located on the top of the device. Mounted to the side of the main housing of the device are waterproof containers that contain our different sensors, our batteries that are charged from the solar panels, and the Wi-Fi chips that we use to relay the information from one chip to the server that we had mentioned in the poster. And the server contains all the data that you can see in real time. It is, you can see graphs, and from that data is what we will manipulate to turn on different sensors back at the solenoids, all the way back to the water pumps located at the solution containers.
So carrying on with what Jeremy was saying about the pumps and the Wi-Fi based system that we have here, the main way that we made this is using these microprocessors, the ESP32. And what this allows us to do is this allows us to pull data from sensors in real time and send them to a database. In this case, we used a provider called Bluehost, which what they're able to do is allow us to just store all of our information, upload it however we need, wherever we need, in whatever way we want.
As mentioned before, we used a lot of plastic parts and silicone parts to cut costs, but another reason why we used what we used is the pH sensors here actually measure pH off of the moisture. So what we'll do is actually collect the water as it drains down through the plant samples, measure the pH, and then we can adjust how much acidic or basic solution we want to apply to the plant to kind of achieve those optimal pH ranges for different plants, because different plants thrive in maybe a higher pH value range or a lower pH value range. We decided to use food grade water pumps here. They're great for water. They're actually submersible. We do not have ours submersed, but they're great water pumps. They run off of 12 volts. So our entire system actually runs off of either 5 to 12 volts, which allows us to minimize the amount of boards and power sources we use. And we can actually power a lot of our microprocessors off of the power provided from the solar panels.
So the primary improvements that we have for this project mainly consist around the microcontroller we use, the ESP32. The main reason for this is because we chose it particularly with the fact that it allows for that expandability in the future to add more sensors.
And using the cloud data that we built using Bluehost, the opportunities and the capabilities are actually endless. We can add as many sensors as we want, as long as we have the microprocessors to accumulate, to gather the GPIO data. The device is small, but it's expandable to as big as a crop size, to which we would hopefully like to have something a lot smaller than this, so it could be located inside of something as small as a windowsill. So if you want to have 1-2 plants, like I said, up to an entire crop size. So this is a Foolproof Auto Irrigation System, and we thank you guys for listening to our device.
Thank you very much.